Welcome everybody to the start of this section in this module where we're going to be going over just a quick introduction to machine learning and kind of the idea behind machine learning and the process behind when we create and train and test these models, what we're trying to accomplish and really what the end goal is. So really with machine learning, there's really 6 steps as part of the training and kind of testing section. So the first step is going to be data collection, and then we have our exploratory data analysis. Then we do some data pre-processing, which can include like cleaning. So as you remember in Module 5, we did some data cleaning tasks and kind of some different things there. And then as well, we have model training. So this is where we actually train our machine learning model to learn from the data. And then we evaluate that data and we test that data against an unseen data set to see if that model is good or to see if we need to change stuff. And that is where in our last step, so step number 6, we have model refinement, which is where we try different things. We try to improve our model by giving it different parameters, by giving it different data, and I'll kind of show you. We can even try different models. So that's really the idea behind machine learning. So we're just going to be going through each one of those steps, except for the data collection step. We're not going to be doing any of that here. We're just going to be using a pre-built data set for us. So in Python, there is a really popular package called scikit-learn, and it makes it so we aren't having to go and write all these models from scratch, because then you would need to know all of the algebra, you would need to know all the calculus, you need to know basically everything that's going on behind the scenes. So this package really does a lot of the heavy lifting for us, and it's a great tool. It's used in production at large companies. So to start off, we're going to be using a very popular data set called the IRIS data set. And this is basically the goal of this data set is to give us data to predict what type of species a flower is, given a couple of different things like the length of the petal, the length or the width of the petal, as well like the sepal length and the sepal width. So then we predict the species based off those features is what they're called. So features, and I'll refer to these a lot, features are basically just what we use to predict the final outcome. So that's really the end goal of machine learning. We give it features and then we have a target value, which means we give it features, we predict a target value, and then we measure when we're training our models to see if our model predicted correctly or not. So let's start off by loading in some data. So we'll just say from sklearn.datasets import load underscore iris, like that. And then we'll just say iris equals load underscore iris. So that'll get us our data set. So like I mentioned before, our goal is to predict the species of the flower. So we're going to load our iris data into a data frame. So we'll just say import pandas as PD. And then we'll say df equals pd.dataframe. So capital D and a capital F. And then our data is going to be iris.data. And then we'll give it our column names by saying columns equals iris.feature underscore names, like that. So now let's go ahead and let's kind of look at this data a little bit. So if we do df.head, so we can see right now that we only have the features in this data frame. So we need to create another column, which essentially is going to be our target variable, and that is just stored in the iris data set. So we'll say df species, so this is our target variable or what we're trying to predict. Say df species equals iris.target. And then if we run that and then run df.head, so as you can see, they're just numbers right now. But if we want to, we can actually go ahead and we can assign these values to the actual flower. And so to do this, we just say df species equals, and then df bracket species like this, dot map, okay, and then in parentheses we'll pass in a dictionary where our key is going to be 0. So for every 0 we're going to assign it to the setosa flower, okay, and then for every 1 we'll assign it to the versicolor, and then for every 2 we'll assign that to the virginica. I don't know how to pronounce that one. I'm not very good with my scientific names. So run that, and then as you can see, we now have our species. We have all of our features down here. So a couple of common just exploratory data analysis things that we can do is we can get the shape of our data frame. So if we say df.shape, this will tell us that we have 150 rows and 5 columns that we're working with, okay? So another thing we might want to do is just see the distribution of our species. So how many Setosa flowers do we have? How many versicolor flowers do we have, right? If we say df and then species like this, and then dot value underscore counts, we run that, that will tell us how many we have. So we have a very evenly distributed data set. Normally in real world data, it is not like that. We usually have a balanced or we usually have an imbalanced distribution that we need to potentially address if it becomes an issue. Okay, so that's just kind of some basic exploratory data analysis, just kind of seeing the distribution, kind of seeing really what's going on with our data. We could create plots to say, okay, what is my average sepal length? What is my average sepal width, right? So we can do as much as we want with exploratory data analysis. The goal behind the exploratory data analysis is to really become familiar with your data and see what you need to clean up in the next part, which is our actual data pre-processing, which this data set doesn't have a ton of things that are messed up with it, so we're not really going to get a ton into it, but in the next lessons there are definitely things that we will address and clean up, so you'll get good practice in those lessons. So part of our data training, we basically split the data into 2 variables. So we'll split it into just our sepal length, sepal width, and petal length, okay? Those will be our features, and then we split it into species as well. And then we go ahead and we split both of those, and we say, okay, now I want to split those into a training set and a test set. So what that does is we basically want to train on data, and then we want to test the model with unseen data. And the reason why we do this is because we do not want to train the model and then test it on the same data set, because it should get 100% of the predictions correct if we're just using the same data set. Basically, the goal of machine learning is to create a model that can work with unseen data and can predict values that is potentially never seen before, to then go ahead and give us a prediction, a accurate representation of what the features are. So to split into our training and test sets, what we need to do is we're going to create 2 variables first. One will be X. I usually do a capital X to say that this is my features. So we'll say X equals df.drop, and so we're going to just drop our species column, and then if we say axis equals 1. So this is just going to create a data frame with everything except for species. And then we'll say y, so this is our target variable, equals df species like that, okay? So now we're just going to create a simple data frame of just our species values. And then the next thing we want to do is we need to import a package called test train split from scikit-learn. So we'll say from sklearn.model_selection import train _test _split. And then we'll say x _train and then x _test, comma, and then y _train, y _test equals train test split, and then in parentheses give it our feature data frame, so the capital X, and then we'll give it our target, so y. And then the next thing we'll do is we're going to give it a test size. What portion of the data do we want to use for testing? Normally, it's anywhere between 20 and 30%. For right now, we'll just say test _ size equals 0.3. So we'll take 30% of the data as our test set. And then as well, we're going to do something called a random state equals 42. So what random state is doing is this is creating a seed value so that if we were to run this 100 times without this random state, we would get 100 different training sets and testing sets. But basically with machine learning, we want to eliminate as many variables as possible. So we are going to use this random state to say that every time I run train test split, it is going to give me the exact same training and test data every time. If I were to switch this to 43, it would give me the number 43 split that it does, okay? So run that. And now we have our 4 variables. We have an xtrain and xtest. We have our training data for our features, our test data for our features. So to just kind of show you how this got split, if we say x_train.shape, so we have 105 rows that we'll use to train the model, and then the remaining 45 rows will be used to test the model. Okay, so now that we have done the pre-processing of our data, let's go ahead and let's just train a model. So to do this, we're going to be using something called classification, which we are just going to predict one of the classes that are available for us. So we'll get more into this later when we talk about classification, but we'll just say from sklearn.naive_Bayes, like that, import Gaussian NB, like that. And then we just create a model. So we say model equals Gaussian NB, and then we'll say model.fit, and then x_train and y_train, like that. So what this is doing is this is creating our model, and then it is going to fit, or it is going to learn from our X train and our Y train. It's going to do all the math kind of in the back end of what's going on. So run that, and then we just get an output telling us that it was fit, and it created this model, right? So the next thing we need to do is we just need to evaluate this model. So it's very common with classification tasks to just use an accuracy score. So that just means out of all the ones we predicted, how many did we get right? And then we just divide it by the total number, and then we get our accuracy score. So to do this, we can just use sklearn again. We'll say from sklearn.metrics import accuracy_score, like that. And then we can just say y_pred equals model.predict, like that. And then we just give it our test set of our features. So we say x_test. So that's going to actually test and make predictions based on our unseen data. And then we'll just say accuracy equals accuracy_score. And then we give it our y_test and our y_predictions, like that. So our y_pred. And then we can just print our accuracy, okay? So if we run that, as you can see, we have a 97% accuracy, which with this data set, this is just a very beginner basic data set. It's not very uncommon to get high accuracy scores. So we can use that accuracy to kind of determine, is this a good model or is this not a good model, which we'll talk about more when we do classification. And then as well, we can use something called a confusion matrix, which we've kind of talked about before, to go and see, okay, what was predicted and what was expected. So if we use sklearn, we can say from sklearn.metrics import confusion_matrix, like that. And then we just do the same thing that we did with accuracy, but with confusion matrix. So we say confusion matrix, and then we do y_test and y_pred, like that. So it looks like we missed one here, right? So, but otherwise, the rest of them were correct. So we got a 0, expected a 0. We got a 1, expected a 1, 2, expected a 2. So the last step of machine learning and kind of just some basic intro to machine learning is just model refinement. So there's 2 ways we could go about this. We could try and add more data and add more features, and this is called feature engineering, where we create features from the features. So we can do feature engineering, or we can test new models. We'll do feature engineering in future. Sorry, I keep saying that. But we'll tackle it more when we look into each type of kind of machine learning that we can do with sklearn. And we'll kind of look more into specific feature engineering for different types of models. But for right now, we're just going to try using a different algorithm, a different model, to see if we can get a better score. So to do that, we just say from sklearn.ensemble, okay, and then import random forest classifier. So this one is just a different model. It's called a random forest classifier. And we'll just kind of do the same thing. We'll say model equals random forest classifier, like that. And then if we say model dot fit, and then we give it our X train and our Y train, like that. And then we just need to make our predictions. So if we say y underscore pred equals model dot predict, and then give it our X test. And then we'll just create our accuracy. So we say accuracy equals accuracy underscore score of y underscore test and y underscore pred, like that. And then if we just return our accuracy right there. So now we have an accuracy of 1, which, I mean, it's nice for learning this, but in reality, if we have a 100% accuracy, there's probably something wrong that we're doing just for future. But as you can see, that is how we can train a different model, giving it the same test. So we can test different models. We can see which one gives us the best result. And then we can try messing with the features, like I mentioned, to create different features. We can try different parameters in this random forest classifier model, okay? So that is basically the breakdown of just the steps of machine learning. And congratulations, you just trained your first model if you've never done machine learning before and you made predictions. So that is kind of the flow of machine learning. So that's it for this video. Let's go ahead and let's jump on to the next lesson where we'll be talking about supervised and unsupervised learning.